All right. He will celebrate the 10th anniversary of his show, Fareed Zakaria, GPS, with a special this Sunday, The Two Faces of Kim Jong-un. Fareed Zakaria. There he is. There you go, my friend. How are you?
Good to see you.
Sure you know all these people?
Of course.
So, 10 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Time really flies.
Thank you.
You were just a teenager when you started, weren't you?
And I think I have now been in every slot in this show.
Yes, you have.
Other than yours.
Well, and we will see how it goes tonight, you know? But let's talk about the special first. I was watching it. Really interesting stuff on North Korea. It seemed like it started out as something about 2 months ago, was it, that Trump impulsively said he was going to do this, and we thought, we made de-nuking the peninsula. Then it just seemed like it was a dinner. And now I think it's just drinks, isn't it? It's just kind of like, let's just have a drink and nothing too committed.
I think even Donald Trump has realized this is really complicated.
Nobody knew.
The North Koreans began working on the first site that is now part of their nuclear program 56 years ago.
Wow.
They have been working at this for 40 years in earnest. They have built an extraordinary set of facilities. The CIA estimates there are about 100 different sites. Remember, we used to talk with Iran that they may have 3 or 4. They may have 100. They've got 60 nuclear bombs at this point, intercontinental ballistic missiles. And Trump says he's going to do better than the Iran deal, which, of course, Iran had no nuclear weapons. It had to ship 98% of its enriched uranium away. There were cameras and inspectors in for 20 years, 25 years in the mines. He's going to do better than that. Remember, that has to be the standard.
Well, but he was going to give us health care that was cheaper, better, and covered everybody. So it's, you know, he's a salesman.
But here's where I think the point you were making earlier, Bill, is so important. He is going to get a deal, if he gets a deal, that is going to be substantially worse than the Iran deal. Yet he is going to claim this is the best deal in the history of the world, and he deserves the Nobel Prize for it. Do you think that will anybody understand?
I don't understand. That's what I don't get. He's supposed to be the great deal maker. Now, we had the Iran deal, which was basically you get your money back, right?
Right. It was their money. People keep
right.
talking about
He always lied and said we were just giving the money. It was their money that we froze.
Exactly.
They got that money back, right? Now, what did they do for that? Allowed the inspectors in. Now they have the money back, and the inspectors get pulled out.
Right.
Take that, Iran. Well, that's the great deal maker?
Or think about, we have no new NAFTA. He said we was going to get out of the TPP, and he was going to do individual deals with all these countries who are going to be even better. We don't have that yet. He pulls out of Paris. We have nothing. In every one of these cases, he promised he was going to do a great deal. Even with the congressional Democrats, I can't think of a single deal. I mean, the tax cut was passed without the Democrats. He's never actually made a deal.
He's just a deal breaker, right? I mean, that's really what he. Yeah. But on the nuclear tip, for so long we were able to be the one country, well, not the one country, but the main country with nuclear weapons beside the Soviet Union, who was trying to get other people to give up their nuclear weapons. And we were able to do that because it's kind of a hypocritical stance. You can't have what we have, because it was sort of assumed in the world we're the good people.
Right.
But now, I think a lot of these countries, Iran included, look at us like, why should we give up what you have? You're not the good people anymore. Look who your president is.
And I think that the issue with the Europeans comes in. The Europeans are sort of stunned to watch the United States that created this post-war world after World War II, rule-based, free trade, open, The president of the United States is now actively hostile to that idea, so much so that he will not sign a statement with the European countries. So Macron has to say, well, we'll sign our own statement. And you're in this extraordinary position now where the Chancellor of Germany is a greater proponent of human rights, liberty, and democracy than the President of the United States. Who'd have thunk, right? I mean, that's a strange world we're in.
And I know you've been writing a lot about Europe. You were there in Italy with Steve Bannon. I saw that interview. And Italy is just one of the countries now that looks like they're going far to the right. And I think you accurately lay a lot of this on immigration. They have a different immigration problem over there than we have in this country. I don't think we have much of an immigration problem. Europe, it's a different story. And something like 55% in the last poll of European countries agreed that all further migration from mainly Muslim countries should be stopped. That sounds like a Muslim ban that is above 50% in most of Europe.
You know, I think that the big difference is the United States is a country based on ideas and ideology. Anyone can come in from here. I mean, look at us around this table, right? We come from everywhere, and if you buy into the American creed, you can be an American. In Europe, your identity is blood and soil. It's all about the fact that your grandparents and your great-grandparents came from there. So it's, you know, that's what's so charming about Europe. You go to these villages in Normandy, and the same people have been the butchers and the bakers, and it's wonderful. Now imagine you're the Algerian who comes into that village. What is the place for you in the world? And they just don't know how to assimilate people. One of the ironies is, in the United States, we do assimilation so well. And yet, there are a lot of people on the right who say, let's copy the French, let's copy the way the Germans. No, you don't want to copy them. They're creating ghettos of unassimilated people who will stay there for generations.
I don't think I've ever seen in America a woman wearing the full beekeeper suit.
No, exactly, exactly. Even though there's no prohibition, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. In a way, you know, they're kind of lucky to live in a country where they're in the minority, because when you're in a majority Muslim country, there's a lot more, sometimes, laws that you have to wear something like.
Look, I'll tell you, in America, assimilation works for the most part. There are, you know, some issues, but it works so well that as an immigrant, I can tell you, my challenge with my children is to have them maintain some small piece of the old culture. They just become so American so fast that they, you know, there's nothing left, and you're just desperately trying to get them to hold on to a few words, a little bit of the food, you know. That's the power of the American assimilation machine. The European countries look at that with wonder. They don't quite know how it works, because it's not a government program, it's a societal attitude. This is a much more open country.
And